This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion.
Hello and welcome once again to Talking Pictures Podcast. I'm your host David and joined with me, as always, my co-host Brian. Brian, how are you today?
Got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Okay, well, I think I know what the trailer of the week is going to be. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning listener, then also welcome. We have new episodes every single Wednesday, as well as another podcast entitled Saturday Morning Cartoon Club. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to both of the podcast feeds to never miss an episode. We're here today to talk about Pixar's newest release, which is Hoppers. But before we get into that, Brian, have you got a trailer of the week for us?
When the road looks rough ahead,
You don't
and
know.
you're miles and miles in your nice warm bed, you just remembering your old pal said, yeah, you got a friend in me.
So it's Toy Story 5 is your trailer of the week anyway.
Goddamn right, it's Toy Story 5.
I don't blame you. I think I've watched or I've listened to this trailer 17 times maybe?
I've listened to it 19.
Alright, okay. It's not a competition.
Well, can I just say, right? Mm-hmm. You weren't too overtly anticipating Toy Story 5, and I am in agreement with you.
That you weren't anticipating it.
The Toy Story franchise should have ended at 4, and that's me saying it should have ended at 3.
Yeah, it should have ended at 3, I think. Me personally, I think it should have ended at 3. But that being said, and I've only seen Toy Story 4 once when it first released. I haven't gone back to it or anything like that. I do have to admit, watching and listening to Toy Story 5 trailer, I feel myself getting emotional for it already. And I feel like if they stick the landing, this could be the best Toy Story.
That Randy Newman song really does hit you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with the epic version of You've Got a Friend in Me, which is very, very strange to be like. I remember when the trailer came out, I sent it to you. I was like, I didn't need this, but all of a sudden,
we're happy to have it.
I can't live without it.
Oh yeah,
like it's just so good.
It seems to be a thing these days to
slow it down, make it epic.
Yeah,
you know,
make
you feel something.
Yeah, put a bit of orchestral into it.
Yeah,
and here we go. Yeah, like hopefully it can do more than justify its existence. Like, yeah, okay, the theme of toys versus tech.
Yeah,
a relevant thing today. It is relevant. It's good. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to make... Look, it's obvious they're shining a spotlight on Jessie.
Yeehaw! I love Jessie.
I love Jessie too. And if this is going to be her movie, maybe that could warrant Buddy and
Wuz.
I said that once before, and I'm probably just stick to it. Yeah. Buddy and Wuz and Buddy. Woody and Buzz. Fuck's sake.
That second time you didn't mean to do it, did you?
No. But
I think you're right. I think it looks as though it's going to be Jessie is the lead of this story.
Yeah.
Which I'm so up for. I cannot wait. Because what it appears to me is that, Woody and Buzz are going to be the if they're the B story, that's perfectly fine. What I've been craving since Toy Story 1 is a story where they are together. Because every
adventure with Woody and Buzz.
Yeah. Because every time since then, ever since the first movie,
they're always separated.
They're separated. They're the A and the B plot. They're running their own narratives, which is perfectly fine. I understand that. And don't get me wrong. I think we said it years ago now in our best sequels, or maybe it was our Pixar rankings or something like that. I think Toy Story 2 is the best Toy Story movie of them all, and that is clearly Woody and Buzz separated for the entire movie. The whole story is finding Woody, but the fact that we're going to maybe have Jessie just leading it, I'm like, great. It looks as though we're going to get a bit of another flashback, it seems, to her past.
I've seen that. They're obviously going to bring that back again. There was another moment in the trailer. Have you watched the trailer any time? More than once? Mm-hmm. Did you notice that they're introducing some sort of storyline where there are multiple Buzz Lightyear action figures? And
apparently that was to be that they were the central villains at one point, or they were going to be antagonists.
Yeah.
And now it seems they're in a much more helping mood.
So obviously they're malfunctioning and they think they're actually the Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger.
Well, is that malfunctioning? I mean, Buzz he starts out thinking that he is Buzz Lightyear.
And I thought at first, why are you bringing that element? Like, oh, now we've got an army of Buzz Lightyears. Like, I feel like a lot of other IPs have done something like this before.
It feels like Toy Story has done it before, because we did have that in Toy Story 2 with the Buzz with the utility belt, and then also we had all of the Buzz Lightyears in Al's Toy Barn.
Yeah, but when I see in the trailer, like, even out of context, it's like, oh, this looks cool. Like the army of Buzz Lightyear toys doing things that they think is their mission.
Yeah, this is Star Command here, yeah.
So I like that. And then there's one moment in the trailer where Buzz says, our one mission on this planet is to make a child happy. And then the chorus of You Got a Friend in Me. The trailer...
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, yeah. It's good.
It's great. Like, Buzz is I think I'm a Buzz. I'm a Buzz fan. And I like...
I'm a Woody. Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
I'm a Jesse, I'll be honest with you.
You're a Jesse?
Yeah, come on.
I can hear the elderness of their voices.
That's the thing.
The actors are getting old.
That is an element, I think, that if we're making Toy Story 5, which we are, this one nearly has to be the last one, because I couldn't deal with Toy Story 6 and either Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, or John Cusack not being the voice. Like, if we were going to change voices, it's like, no. Like, they're already going to do it with Don Rickles. Like, Don Rickles isn't there to do Mr. Potato Head.
Eunice...
Mrs. Potato Head. Yeah.
Eunice Harris or Steele. I don't know her name, but yeah, she's... Sure, they already did it with Slinky Dog.
Yeah.
The actor who voiced Slinky Dog passed away between the second and third movie, and they got a new actor into it, and no one shouted.
But, I mean, like, this, it's different when it's the main characters, you know?
Yeah, it is. Looking forward to it. Surprised the trailer did it for me.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have it. But I think we should stop talking about it now, because we'll end up doing like half the episode talking about
just speculation
for the trailer of Toy Story 5, when we're actually here to talk about another Pixar movie.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Pixar's newest release, which is Hoppers, which is a funny one in that
we didn't care about it.
No, and what feels really funny to me is I kind of didn't even know it was coming out. Like, I was aware of it tangentially, like, oh yeah, there is a Pixar movie coming out, but I didn't know what it was. Yeah. It wasn't until honestly, when we were doing our most anticipated for 2026, that I even kind of looked at it. I was like, okay, what is this movie? Like, I hadn't watched any trailers for it, hadn't done anything or hadn't anticipated it or anything like that. So it was all a surprise to me. And you said something to me, which was the trailers didn't get you excited. And I said, Brian, what trailers? Like, I hadn't seen anything of this. So going into this, I was nearly as blind as one could be going into a Pixar movie.
Yeah. Look, I think I even remember I can really remember a lot of the concept art when they announce certain Pixar movies that are coming up. So maybe around the time they would have announced, I think, Toy Story 5. And sure, look, maybe even next year's Godot. I remember they released material, first looks of Hoppers, and it was like a still image of the beaver robot running away from the scientist lady, and you can see in the background a person sitting in a chair with like a helmet on their head. So like, they've released a description, and it's about a girl transfers her conscience into a robot beaver, and she goes nuts in the wilderness. Why?
Yeah.
What for? And then the further along you get into it, oh, she's trying to help the animals to save their home from the park from the mayor who's trying to destroy it because he wants to build a road. And like, how many times have we seen this? This is the most basic, generalized, obvious, straightforward kind of plot we've seen on multiple occasions.
Yeah, I know the beats before they come.
It's too straightforward. Like, we're talking about Pixar here that introduced stories. Like, think about the simple treatments. A story where your toys come alive. A story about the monsters in your closet. A story about fish. And that's my favourite one out of the whole collection. Like, and on and on and on. And I think the most latest one where Pixar does creative ideas is the emotions inside your head. And so we're coming back to this, and I'm thinking, it's just too normal. It's too straightforward. It's like, yeah, whatever, it'll come and go, and you can slot it in a real list along with the likes of maybe Soul, Turning Red, Elio, and Luca, and now this. And now some of those I just mentioned I like more than others. Some of them I wish were better than they turned out to be, and you can ask me or don't, but like, I know anticipation for Hoppers, and then I saw the reviews were good.
Well, just before you get on there, I kind of want to say, just building on what you said,
Yeah.
so many of those concepts are kind of like, of course, why haven't we done this before? You know, of course we want to see a story about the monsters coming out of your closet. Of course we want to see a story of superheroes, and of course we want to see our toys coming to life.
Yeah.
Like, of course. But with Hoppers, with the concept of Hoppers, it's like, I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a Pixar movie. This could have been anyone's movie. This could have been just a Disney movie.
Or a DreamWorks movie.
It doesn't feel as though, it doesn't scream that, oh yes, of course, why haven't we done this before? It's more of a, I feel like I've seen or I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, what's different here? Like, when you think about Pixar movies that are about the humans, the most creative touch they've added to that is how many balloons attached to an old man's house, and it lifts it up and it goes to the South America. And there's another old man there who has dogs with collars to allow them to speak. There's a reference in this movie.
Yeah, there's a few references, actually,
As always the case. But a robot beaver, like, why a beaver? Why not a squirrel? Why not a chipmunk? Why a beaver of all things? You know, like, it's just, I feel like out of all the creative ideas you could have come up with, you chose this. And now I say that knowing that they did Elio, and I thought Elio was such a creative idea. Like, I like a good space adventure, especially when it's to do a kid being lost in space nearly.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out so well, but I have a bit of my own gripe with that movie in terms of the
changes to the narrative.
There was a lot, not even the narrative, just the character. There was a lot of changes to the character.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I'm going to perceive that movie of what it could have been.
Yeah.
And not what it is. And now anytime I think about that movie, every time I think about Elio, I'm thinking about it not as the movie we got, but the movie we didn't get. And that's a shame.
I think, while it may appear as though we're being negative about it, I think that we want to lay out what our preconceived notions for it were to begin with.
For Hoppers,
that we weren't excited for it. But then, like you said, the reviews started coming out. Oh, this seems as though it's good. It's getting a positive spin.
Yeah. High 90s. Apparently, Pixar's highest rated critically on Rotten Tomatoes since years ago. So, which is great. But when I like it, you know, and I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm liking it. And then I kept watching it, and then after a few laughs here and there, and I'm liking it. And then I think I was around maybe a halfway point or just after the halfway point, and I'm thinking, this is good. This is good. And then the more I think about it, like, there's a few funny bits in it that I thought was funny, and then there was one sequence that I wish I laughed more because of how ridiculous and like, oh, this is how silly we're going with it. And then there's also a few other elements, like you're getting John Hamm into it, but like he's voicing a mayor, and like John Hamm is just playing John Hamm here. Like if this was a live action movie, John Hamm would be just playing John Hamm the mayor. Yeah. All right. I think it would have been more creative if they got the actor who voices Jerry from Rick and Morty, because he sounds an awful lot like the mayor in Hoppers. But then the more as the movie progressed, I got, oh yeah, no, I dig this. And then Bobby Moynihan. I'm not a fan of Bobby Moynihan, and that's only because he feels very SNL heavy. Like 100%. He feels like he's the type of guy who would have a lot of ties creatively to, I think, the likes of Family Guy or something like that. And the most voice work you expect him to see is one of many comedians that Illumination often gets. Voice. 'Cause when you think about Illumination and all their like either Despicable Me or Minions movies or other movies like Secret Life of Pets or Sing, they get a lot of comedians to voice their characters. If you really think about that, and Bobby Moynihan is just one of those on that list. But
he's someone that when the character was speaking and I heard the voice, I was like, I can picture this guy's face. I couldn't tell you his name though. It wasn't until the credits rolled I go, oh yeah, it's Bobby Moynihan, as in I recognize the name, but I could see his face in my mind. I just couldn't tell you his name at all. I think he's someone who is, you're right, I think SNL heavy is
a description,
a good description of him. He's kind of like tangential to a lot of bigger comedians. Like he's so and so. Oh, and Bobby Moynihan is here. He's so and so's friend. You know,
like if you had not to say that he would be found in this collection of characters, but it's like you'd have Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill and formerly James Franco. You would have the lower tier collection of characters in that camp.
Yeah.
Like, probably think some of the cameos in This Is the End. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you had...
Yeah, that's the kind of level that you will put him on, alright, yeah.
Bobby Moynihan would very much be low on that list. And where he is very much low in the rankings of other Pixar, of other animated movies or that he's voiced characters. Here, in Hoppers, I'm so surprised to see the character he plays. I think his character here, George, captures the definition of good.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, is that he is the epitome of good within the film.
Yeah. Like really kind-heartedness. Not even blind kind-heartedness, because he justifies everything.
Not to a fault or anything like that. Yeah. He's just doing the right thing every time.
Like, in another writer's hands, they would have made him, oh no, it turns out this is actually the bad guy. Or no, this guy is actually just a dumb fool. And he's not even that main of a character. But this movie has like all of 3 main characters.
Yeah, I would just put it down to being George, Mabel and Jerry the mayor.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is just kind of
secondary,
tertiary, nearly even. Like, I wouldn't even say, like, the secondary ones would be the human scientists, and then the animals are kind of nearly tertiary. Like, I couldn't tell you the name of any of them other than the bear was maybe Ellen. Yeah. Other than that, and the other beaver was Loaf.
Loaf, yeah. Someone voiced him that I recognised.
I can tell you now.
Can you tell me?
Eduardo Franco.
Ted Lasso.
No.
He's the guy in Ted Lasso.
No.
No?
No.
Am I wrong?
You are wrong. He is the guy who plays your man in Stranger Things. The annoying stoner.
Oh, that guy.
4.
Yeah, that guy. Don't say that with a frown in your face. One of the witches in Hocus Pocus voices the elder scientist lady.
Does she now?
She does. And I was so nice to see her there.
There was a few voices that I was surprised by. And it wasn't until the credits rolled that I realised who they were.
There's only one I copped, and it's like, it took me a few lines to wait to hear it, and it's, that's Dave Franco.
Yeah, it wasn't until, because he plays the caterpillar, and it's then later on, after he's no longer a caterpillar, that he gets his full voice.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute, I was like, now hold on a minute, was that Dave Franco the entire time? And I'm like, it must have been. They must have put a voice filter on him. But what I was shocked by was the insect queen who voiced her.
I think I looked up character posters, and I might have seen, this is a big shot name that came in for a day, and Meryl Streep.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. I was like genuinely like, wow. Okay, I did not hear that at all.
I could have sworn Olivia Colman voices the spider who directed Mabel.
It wasn't. It was, I believe it was Amanda Holden.
I don't know her.
She's on like Britain's Got Talent.
All right.
And I think it was like Alan Carr was the other spider as well. Which, there's this joke in the movie that I've seen a lot of people be like, this was hilarious, this was so funny, and it was the moment where she points the arrow and the other spider comes along and goes, what is that? And she's like, it's an arrow. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what's so funny about that?
Yeah,
I think it's people like they think it's very dry humor that like it's an obvious, it's so obvious what it is.
Like, I admit this, I had a few laughs in this movie, but I think the wholesomeness drives it forward to being as good as I'm willing to give it.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of wholesomeness. Like,
well, yeah, I think you're right. I think that what I like about it is the wholesomeness and also the turn it takes midway through, where John Hamm plays the mayor, and like you were saying earlier, right, it's the mayor wants to build a road over this nature preserve, and he's going about it in all the wrong ways, and he appears to be that he's the villain of the piece.
Oh yeah.
And he's not. He's just going about things the completely wrong way. And he's doing things in his mind as for the good of he's the human king, essentially.
He's saving 4 minutes for people to drive on the road.
But I mean, he's coming out of his house and people are like, love you, Jerry. Like, there's no badness in him in that kind of sense. Like, people love him for who he is.
Yeah, he's not being sly or coy with them. Like, he's not saying, ha, you losers. Like, there's no greed about him.
No. He's doing about it in a slimy way, yeah.
His only fault is that he fancies himself.
Yeah. And what I like about the film is that he's, Mabel's journey is, we need to stop Jerry, we need to do this.
Yeah.
And when she gets what she wants, when they convene the council, and then it's like, okay, we'll do it, we'll squish him, and then it's like, wait, sorry, what? And the whole motivation changes from we need to stop Jerry to, oh, we need to save Jerry.
Yeah.
And then Jerry, who is the quote unquote villain of the piece, is now an ally, and the villain is actually this lunatic insect, and all the other animals and all the other reptiles and birds and all this kind of stuff. And I just liked that kind of turn on it, that like there isn't really a villain of the piece in a way. Like,
no, I think my low expectations of it kind of cancels out alternative gripes I would have had this movie. Like, one gripe I would have said, like, who's this caterpillar now is all of a sudden the villain of the movie that was only introduced at this point in the movie, like, that was never foreshadowed. Like, all of a sudden, like, I don't have an issue with that, and then all of a sudden introducing the robot human, I don't have any issues with that because of maybe the low expectations I had for it.
And not that a movie even needs a villain. Like, who's the villain of your favorite movie, Finding Nemo?
There's no one, but I can give one better.
Go on.
Who's the villain in Inside Out?
Yeah, sometimes you don't need a villain.
No. Well, but
just working towards something.
Well, introducing antagonistic forces. You know, there is villains in this movie. There is a villain. It's the caterpillar.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. The whole idea of, you know, the back and forth that Mabel has between herself and Jerry. You know, like she immediately stops the construction crew from blowing up the dam, and she's there, and then in comes Mayor Jerry. Oh, they have a history, and then he's gonna be like this soft-spoken, like authoritative,
smooth talking kind of
yeah. He's always gonna be slight, and he kind of is like that. But then the two like have a little close-up shot of their faces, and then all of a sudden they both start arguing and bickering, and it's like,
and it cuts between them that this isn't the first time they've done that. They've done it at City Hall, they've done it outside his house, they've done it at protests, all this kind of stuff.
And when two people are like arguing, I try to focus on one person speaking, and like hearing John Hamm's like, Mabel, this is my mother's house here. You can't do things like this. That's one of the earliest jokes I thought was funny that got me.
Yeah,
that kind of like, oh, I don't think I've seen something like this before in a traditional straight going plot like this. So that's something, but it's only a joke. It's only for a moment, you know. But then, as like, it just gets a little bit more nicer, and her trying to get petitions to, you know, stop Jerry's plan. And like that was nice. But then they added a wholesomeness to it, where she goes into this old man's house and
does all the work for him, and she's just passionately talking about the thing that she wants to save, which is the Glade, which is in her mind it's her grandmother's dream, and it's her connection to her grandmother. The last promise she made her was to protect the Glade, and she has this lovely sequence where she completely like just does all these odd jobs for this house, in this guy's house, for one signature. And then when she gets to the door, it's like, so would you sign the petition? And he pulls out an earring aid and is like, sorry, what was that? And I thought that was quite funny, actually, to be honest. And then, like, I think they kind of undercut it a little bit then. Like, that's the joke for me.
Yeah.
And then when he hands her, he's like, oh, I like you. You know, you've got perseverance or whatever.
And that's adding a bit of wholesomeness to it. It's like, oh no, the guy was actually kind of listening to her.
Yeah.
And he goes to
write it down. And while it's funny, I think it does undercut the moment. Like, it would have been nice to have her get a signature, but instead he writes down his shopping list. Like, it was funny in the moment, but I was like, she's put in a lot of work. I would like to see her make some kind of headway on this.
Yeah, you know, she does go back to the Glade. Is that what
the Glade?
The Glade. I always thought there was a bee in there. The Glade, and she sees a beaver. It's like, oh great, because she just needs one beaver to come back. But then no, I see. I knew this. I knew it was the robot one because it has to be introduced at some point. And then she follows in, she goes to the lab, and she does something here that I'm thinking, no, that's her life work. Don't be taking the robot. Like, you, if I spent my entire life trying to create an animal robot to learn and explore the animal kingdom, and this little shit of a girl's gonna take
come on. She's a nice girl.
No, she's not a nice girl. She's stealing her stuff.
Yeah, but it's all for a good intention. No. It's to save the Glade.
I took issue to it now. I did. Okay. She's taken her property, and she shouldn't do that.
Okay.
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
How would you feel like if this 19-year-old came in, stole your mic, and said, "I needed to save the Glade"?
I would say, okay, let's work together on this.
Okay. Well, I feel like if she had just went about it, you know what? Do you know what saved it? after she did bring the animals back to the glade, she was first thought, okay, I gotta go now. She was going to return it.
Yeah.
And George and his lovable little personality, his mannerisms, kind of enticed her to, okay, maybe I'll just hang around for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I like that she was willing to go back immediately and face whatever consequences she was going to.
Yeah.
But it was nice. And so Mabel did have a lot to learn, and even a little bit back and forth, because while she's at the halfway point deciding to save Jerry, expecting him to not build a bridge and destroy the glade, and he says, no, I can't, can we not come to an understanding here? And then she gets tick and she says, he's down here, alerting the other animal, alerting all the other animals to say to come and kill him and squish him. Like, oh yeah, that's actually cool. Like, we're no way near
the resolution here. No, absolutely not.
We're far from a resolution.
He says it a few times. It's like, okay, like, yeah, we can do this and we can save the day, but I'm still building the road. Like, this hasn't changed my mind. Like, like the whole, like, 99% of the road is done.
Yeah.
It's just this final section that needs to be completed. So it's like, it can't be just like all of a sudden you've changed my mind. It's, it's that's not how the real world works. I know that we're obviously in a animated film here, but like, there is some level of, I suppose, reality to it. Yeah. You can't just all of a sudden, I'm going to change my mind because of this one situation. But I quite liked the fact that so many of, like, Pixar movies have this kind of thing of like, oh, what if so and so were humans, or what if so and so had emotions, or what if so and so were real.
Yeah,
I liked the fact that even though it didn't think of it this, going into it, is like, okay, what if these animals did have some level of a society?
Yeah.
That they have all of these, like George takes us around the pond and we follow, like, pond rules and stuff like that. And like, okay, these animals, these wild beasts have some kind of code that they all live by.
Yeah.
And there's this, again, well, not again, but it's kind of like the circle of life, I suppose, when it comes to, like, the Lion King or something like that. It's like,
when you gotta eat,
eat, and like, we've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, like,
throughout it,
they're repeating the same thing we've heard over and over again. Like, why is this really any different here? Like, I'm thinking of the wild robot here right now as one example. I could think of something similar to Over the Hedge as another example. Like, what really is different here? There's not a whole lot. Like, Brother Bear, even. Like, I'm thinking about something that is very common. This is a very common plot, so there's nothing really too exciting, and yet they did do the good work and changed my mind on it. Yeah, like, I'm not saying it's a Pixar top 10. It's not, but
but it stands up there. It is one that I'm happy to say I enjoyed this. This is a good Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's very rare, I think, that we get bad Pixar movies. I think some of the more recent ones, in a lot of people's mind, haven't been up to snuff.
No.
But why is that? Oh, probably because we watched all the original ones when we were between the ages of 5 and 10, and these ones we're watching in our late 20s. Like, I think that's what a lot of people sometimes forget, is that the best ones you watch are the ones when you were a kid.
Yeah.
This will be some kid's favourite movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you know what? We are getting a lot of them now at this point. Like, how many movies are there in Pixar? 30?
There are... this is the 30th, yeah.
No way.
That's exactly it, yeah.
That was a guess.
Toy Story 5 is going to be 31. Yeah, I have the list here in front of me. What I was going to say about Hoppers, that I think... it's not a problem with Hoppers as a whole. It's a problem, I think, with Pixar. In that, what I need for Pixar to do is I need them to do a movie that solely doesn't have humans. I feel as though the last few entries...
you can't include Cars. Cars was a John Lasseter passion project. I'd nearly wouldn't include Cars because that cancels it by default, because that's a world with no humans.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of earlier Pixar stuff, like, I can't have I don't want humans to be the main characters. Something like Toy Story, okay?
So
there are humans,
yeah,
but they're not central to the plot.
No.
The central plot of Toy Story is you have Andy, and we can't be alive. We can't be moving when Andy's here.
Yeah.
And Sid, and it's like, we have to escape Sid.
Yeah.
Then you've got A Bug's Life. No humans whatsoever. Toy Story 2.
Same thing.
Same thing. Monsters, Inc.
Same thing in a way. Well,
you have Boo there, yeah. And she is the only human in this world of monsters. Finding Nemo. It's from the perspective of the fish.
Yeah.
Ratatouille. It's from the perspective of a rat.
Yeah,
but
although
recent...
the guy,
Luigi.
No. The good guy, the chef in Ratatouille.
Yeah, is his name not Luigi?
Is it?
I think so.
He sounds very white and Western to be called Luigi.
I think it's Luigi. I can look it up. Power of editing.
Just so you know, I'm not a huge fan of Ratatouille.
Linguini. His name's Linguini.
Really? Are you sure?
I just looked it up. It's on Letterboxd.
Right.
Linguini, not Luigi. But what I'm saying is...
He's the guy from Avatar, Norm Spellman. Right?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that with the last couple of instances, our main characters are human.
Yeah.
With a fantastical element. But I would just prefer something to be the fantastical element.
Like some of them I've listed earlier, like Soul. It's about a guy who, for some portion of the movie, his body is inhabited is a soul.
Yeah. Next, Luca.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a reversal aspect. Like he's naturally a fish. But
but when they go on land, they're completely human.
Yeah, but it's the fish element that adds to it. Turning red.
Lightyear is next.
Lightyear. Well, they are.
It's all humanoid.
Yeah.
Really. Then turning red, you have
the fantastical element is the panda.
Yeah. Elemental, I'll give them. It's all elements. They are humanoid elements.
I forgot about elemental.
That's one we did earlier. Yeah, we did. The Inside Out 2, it's humans with the emotions, humanoid emotions, and
the humans are secondary.
Yeah, and then Elio is the main character in a fantastical world, all right, with the other aliens, but Elio is still the human, and we're following him.
Yeah.
So what I would just like, and Hoppers is that as well, is that we're taking the human Mabel, and she is going into the fantastic world of the world of animals.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she is still the human. So what I would just like, and that's kind of why I'm excited for their upcoming release, Gato, because it's from the perspective of a cat in this. I think it's like they nearly like...
It's a cat in like Venus and...
Venice, yeah.
Venice. I said Venus.
Yeah.
A black cat in Venice, and I don't know.
I think there are other mobster cats or something like that.
Yeah, it's like... I'm not going to lie, that doesn't really sound appealing to me whatsoever.
Well, it appeals to me because of the fact that it doesn't seem to be the humanoid aspect of it. There's no humans in it. It's going to be from the perspective of something else entirely. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I think that Pixar need to make some more of those.
I only know, like, the title and a brief idea on what one of their upcoming Pixar movies is.
Yeah, tell me.
Uno Ghost Market, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And what's that about?
A supernatural spirit from Asian culture, and it kind of breaks the barrier between life and death.
Cool.
Now, I know you're probably thinking quickly about Coco, but I think...
No, I was thinking more like actual like ghosts, you know? Like it's a kind of a mixture between like Soul and Coco, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm more excited for that than Gato.
That's fair. Listen, you're not going to be excited for everything. Neither of us were excited for Hoppers.
Yeah,
you know?
Look, we're doing an episode on it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this whatsoever.
No.
But yeah, like it's... I don't mind... I appreciate your request for Pixar movies. I just want them to... I don't know, I guess I just need them to always stay above Disney animation films.
Yeah.
Like the last Disney animation film that came out...
Zootopia too.
Yeah. And while I'd say Zootopia, the first Moana, and both Wreck-It Ralph movies, and sure, Zootopia too, yeah. Those are the top best of and my favourites. And they're only the recent years.
You know, Zootopia and Wreck-It Ralph both feel like they could have been Pixar movies.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree.
And I don't know...
Wreck-It Ralph specifically because it's not a Disney princess movie.
Yeah, I mean... I don't mean that in a derogatory way to either Disney or Pixar. It just feels as though, they got so close to being Pixar that if you told me that was a Pixar movie, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way?
Yeah. But I'm happy it's not, because that means Pixar has more time to do something else and works on something else. But yeah,
and so
I'm a Pixar fan all the way.
Yeah, so when they announced their upcoming slate, because they announced a few movies there coming forward.
A few original upcoming as well. Like I said, Uno Ghost Market. I can't tell you when that's coming. But
yeah, and then they've announced that they're doing a musical one as well.
Yeah, from the Turning Red director. So, okay, I hope it's a musical, but just because it's a musical doesn't mean it still flip it. Add something to it.
Yeah, there has to be some element to it. So are you more excited for originals or for sequels?
Oh, sequels.
Yeah.
No, sorry, sequels. Now, when I say sequels, I am most definitely talking about probably my most anticipated film of 2028, The Incredibles 3. Well,
You know, I think I'm not as excited for Incredibles 3 because I feel like Incredibles 2 was a little bit of a letdown. So that has dampened my excitement for 3. What instead I'm excited for, which they only just announced, is a Monsters, Inc. And a new entry into that. I don't want to say whether it's a prequel or a sequel. We don't know anything yet.
It has to be a sequel to the first one. It needs to be.
Listen, yeah, I mean, we've done the prequel where Mike and Sully met,
Yeah.
and in those end credits, they get all the way up to Monsters, Inc. So it's going to have to be a sequel. I really love the ending to Monsters, Inc. And I kind of was one of those ones that was like, I don't want a sequel because I don't want to ruin the perfect ending of Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's coming,
But
like
sure,
whether I like it or not.
But sure, how many times have you said that for Toy Story? The mega hit of Pixar.
Once.
You said it like twice or 3 times now. At the end of Toy Story 3, alright, no more. At the end of Toy Story 4, no more. At the end of Toy Story 5, you're
it's very different. I think it's very different. It's a different no more. At the end of Toy Story 3, it's like perfect ending, no more. At the end of Toy Story 4, it's like, oh, why did you make this? No more. End of Toy Story 5, it's like, okay, if you just bring me back to the emotions of Toy Story 3 and then no more. Like it's 3 very different no mores.
Well, I watched Monsters, Inc. today.
You watched it today, did you?
Yeah.
Just with your nieces?
Yeah.
That's very cute. Did they like it?
Yeah, somewhat liked it.
Yeah.
They paid attention. And I think for the longest time now, think of it. I don't know about you. You just said Monsters, Inc. was the perfect ending, but we have now lived our lives longer thinking, what did Sully see when he returned to Boo's room? And she said, Kitty. And he smiles with big joy. And my memory goes all the way back to my sibling saying, oh, she's got older now. We've lived, well, I'll speak for myself. I've lived my life longer knowing that what if, knowing that thought of what happens now, than I did for the end of The Incredibles 1, where it's like, I want more.
Yeah.
We've got The Incredibles 2. We've seen what happens after now. We've lived, it's 2018, it's nearly a decade, having a sequel to The Incredibles. Before we go back to the movie again, I do just want to contribute to your request for Pixar films, upcoming, and how to, deal with the human characters. It feels like they go back and forth in how they animate their characters, the human characters. So
I feel like it's very the same every time.
I don't know. I think about it now. The humans in Toy Story are very normal looking. I think the humans in even Finding Nemo are very normal looking. Boo from Monsters is normal looking, but you go to the likes of Up, or the likes of Brave, or even the likes of Elio, or Luca. They're all very much like cartoonish.
I feel over the last couple of years they've fallen into a certain art style. I feel like with Luca and Elio and Hoppers and Soul
and Turning
Red, I look at that and I go, oh yeah, this is a Pixar movie. I know it straight away that they all look like Pixar. Like, I think that any time that you can get a caricature of yourself done in a certain style, it's when you have the certain style, it's time to change. Like, you shouldn't be able to focus on, or you shouldn't be able to, like, narrow down as like, oh yeah, this is what the Pixar style is. This is what you do to Pixarify yourself,
Pixarify.
You know what I thought was quite interesting in Hoppers? There's a few elements. One was the way that they differentiated whether we were in the human perspective or from the animal perspective. And it's something so simple.
Yeah.
The eyes.
I really like that. That's something that was kind of revealed in the trailers, and that's because I actively watched the trailers to see if I could get excited with it.
Yeah.
They gave it away in like the car when they tried to save Jerry. But yeah, it's done very well. The simple cutaways, because Mabel, when she transfers her consciousness into the beaver and looks at herself in reflection, it's her eyes as if it's her human eyes.
Yeah.
And then cut to
It's the big animated white eyes.
But it's her eyes.
Yeah.
I felt like it's her eyes. Like if the Indian scientist, if she would have transferred into the beaver, it would have been her eyes.
Yeah.
Just like how by the time Mayor Jerry transferred into the beaver,
he's got his own look, all right.
Yeah. It's a very distinctive look, and he looks like the beaver. I was like, I'm waiting to see what he looks like
when we're in the human perspective.
Because we only see him as his beady eyes, and then Mabel turns her back to him and turns back again, and we the audience see Mayor Jerry and he doesn't just have his eyes, he's got like his hairstyle
Yeah.
as the beaver. Like that's just something to differentiate him to like how Mabel looked.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them to look the same, because I'm already thinking, are they making a mistake by, oh, now Mabel's not in the beaver anymore, now it's Mayor Jerry. And like I thought the whole crux of this movie kind of was focused on Mabel being the beaver.
Yeah.
Like this is the closest she'll ever be to be one with the animals, as if it was her life,
dream,
her
yeah.
dream to become one of the animals. You know, that's why I would kind of.
And in another movie, that would have been the case.
Yeah.
Her dream is to become one of the animals. She
Yeah.
would have been a weirdo kid who does all of the stuff with the animals. And instead, it's saving the glade. It's saving their life. Like, she doesn't want to be one of the animals. She's
Yeah.
not going around and doing weird things or anything like that. It's just purely about saving this piece of land. Which I think separates it then from what would be, like we were saying earlier, like a generic, like, yes, I've seen this movie before. I know what the beats of this movie are.
Yeah.
You know, because her motivations aren't what we would have maybe expected them to be. But I quite like the fact that it was very obvious, are we from the animal perspective or are we from the human perspective? Just from that small little character design choice.
Yeah, because when she puts the little ear device to listen to,
Yeah, we can hear.
robot,
Yeah.
that's when she can understand him. That's where there's no barrier between animal and human. You can actually talk. I walked out of this movie kind of now being a bit of a Bobby Moynihan fan.
You can look for him now and other things.
Not necessarily, but like I'm always going to now remember him as the pure jolly good. He's nonsense. He's full of like bumbling nonsense, but he's happy. There's not a bad cell in his body. He's very much very happy. Like I kind of miss a bit of that. You know, I kind of like seeing a bit of that in there. Like in the one scene where Mabel in the beaver body was dragged to be on the porch, and then her conscious is back into her human body, and then she kind of wakes up drowsy, and she's seeing that George, but from human perspective.
Yeah,
So-
we don't hear what he's saying.
Yeah,
we just hear his little squeaks, and it's like,
and he's trying to save Mabel and pull her away, and like, oh, that separation, that separation of communication between the two now. It's kind of like, how can I describe it? It's like Mabel can't comfort her friend because George thinks Mabel
has died. Yeah.
yeah, and Mabel is there, the real Mabel who George would be scared of. It's, I definitely see things like that before, and I can't remember. I can't really justify an example.
Yeah.
But this really takes the biscuit, because there's this one moment in the movie where Mabel was kind of trying to explain to George, I'm not an animal, I'm a human.
Yeah.
And all the hate talk she's talked about humans, and then, oh no, she's one herself. I can just say that they built up a good job to like foreshadow the betrayal George would feel.
Yeah.
Like I really did like that. Yeah, like that's one they did right. I gotta say, probably the funniest sequence in this movie. Like, I wish I laughed more. I think it's that good. The Predator sequence. Of all the predators they want to summon to squish Jerry, I kind of forgot.
Summon the apex predator.
Yeah, so I kind of forgot that. Oh yeah, they're summoning a predator. It's like, oh, are they gonna get the bear? And the bear doesn't want to. No,
I did think the bear as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were gonna get, but then they see all the birds coming down, the seagulls, and I thought, oh, they're just one of many different animals that are gonna take their turn at attacking Jerry in this like high chase, which is a fun sequence. But no, they all dive down like bullets in the sea. And there was this like tune in the piano in the score, dun 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 dun.
You know what's coming then. Yeah.
And they bring up a shark. They bring up a shark from the water, and we see it from the human perspective. So it's got the big black beady eyes,
beady
right?
eye, yeah.
Right. So and then everyone's in shock of this pure, majestic creature and God-defying situation where these birds are bringing the shark up, and it's like, oh, I'm watching a Pixar movie, but it's still a cartoon.
Yeah.
And there's a specific moment where George says to Mabel, oh, that's Denise, she's so lovely. And then you see Jerry driving the car, and you can see like out the window the shark edging forward, and this is a moment just after watching the big black beady eyes, and then comes the big the big cartoonist circly eyes. Like,
Yeah.
hey y'all, how's it going?
Yeah, the nicest person possible, yeah.
And they just showed a picture. Oh yeah, that's him. Okay, now, say, Beaver, I'd say you're going to want to skitch on out of that vehicle now. Okay, everyone, formation. And then she jumps on the car. Okay, hi there. You're going to feel a biting sensation, followed by that. the real, like... bubbly,
matter of fact, but we're gonna do it in the nice way. It's an actress by the name of Vanessa Bayer, and you do know her.
Do I?
She is the energy vampires in What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's her. I thought you were about to say it was your one, the main female.
Oh no, Kristen Shaw.
I know the energy vampire. I know who you're talking about.
She pops up in a lot of stuff. She's in the new season of Scrubs. She's in that movie Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. She's someone that pops up, and I do consider her to be quite like a bubbly personality. And when I heard her, I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who this is. And it fits this kind of the Diane the Shark kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm actually glad that you brought this up, because I thought it was really interesting how many comparisons there can be to other Pixar movies. And Diane was one of them.
Oh, I was immediately thinking, they're going to say this shark's name's Bruce.
Well, yeah, I thought it was really interesting that it was Bruce, first of all, was obviously a direct comparison, but also the insect queen and the caterpillar, I thought back to A Bug's Life. And it's like, it's really interesting you're doing something that you did 25 plus years ago, and you're going to do it again now, and like, how is this going to be different to when you did it before?
Yeah.
Like, A Bug's Life was
1998.
98, you got it, yeah, exactly. And then Finding Nemo was 2004. So you're talking 2003, excuse me. So you're talking 25 to 30 years on from those original creations, and now you're going to do it again. And it's like, let's look. I think it would be so interesting to do like a side-by-side comparison of the insect queen versus the butterfly in A Bug's Life.
Yeah,
you know, and even the caterpillar was exactly the same as, well, it was a different color pattern, but I think it was Heimlich is the name of the caterpillar in A Bug's Life, but just like they're the exact same design, but just a completely different color scheme. I'd love to see like a side-by-side comparison of those. And then Bruce, like that, he is, when you think Pixar shark, you think of Bruce. And it kind of, I think it would be interesting to go back and look at those two directly, because I feel like the one in Finding Nemo nearly feels more realistic, whereas this one in Hoppers feels more cartoonish. It feels more in a cartoon style, the Pixar style, compared to Bruce.
Oh yeah, I agree. I very much agree. I think when you're doing a story about fish, and it's solely focused about the aquatic creatures, then you gotta put a bit of effort in the detail, and if you're not going to do that, it's just going to come across as an illumination film.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that in the early days of Pixar, some of the films were done and they specifically set themselves challenges. And one of them being, like with Finding Nemo, like, can we tell a full story underwater? Like, how can we do that, and how can we make that look good? And then something like Monsters, Inc., like the movement of Sully's hair, like that in itself was a task.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like, I think then, well, like Up, like having that many balloons on screen, like having all of those things and them colliding into each other and all these graphics.
Yeah.
And
what about water alone?
Water alone, yeah. That, like with Finding Nemo, but I don't think that that's the case with some of the more recent ones. Or maybe there are kind of testing limitations of things, but it's not clearly obvious. Maybe they've gone so far, they've pushed technology so far that there's nothing to push further. It's just like slow. Like, I suppose it's like back in the early days of it, they're big leaps, they're big things. Whereas now things have gotten so good, it's small increments now.
They've plateaued in somewhat of a way.
I suppose that's the way to put it. Yeah.
Apparently, one of their this happened. This is 10 years ago now. Finding Dory, but Hank the octopus was quite a complicated character to design.
Yeah.
Here's a good example: cartoon dinosaurs in a realistic world.
In The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah. All the dinosaurs were very much
cartoonish, but the real world around them.
Yeah, it was quite normal looking, you know?
Yeah.
So that's probably a good, prominent example to differentiate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just surprised with this. I like this movie so much, and I love the ending. Do you know what else? Part of me thinks I wish Mabel was a little bit older to kind of make her an older adult, because, yeah, she's 19. She's in the finishing stages of college, but college is not really a part of the story, really.
No, not at all.
And her parents, near non-existent. Like, she has a grandmother, but she's dead. She died, and she was like a bit of a core to the reason why she's wanting to save the Glade.
Yeah. I think I would have liked a bit more of for her ending, I would have liked her maybe to go into some kind of environmental role or something like that, rather than with the scientist.
Yeah, like
I thought that she was...
Yeah, because she's going into the robotics.
Yeah,
world.
I think I would have liked more for her to be like... To go... Maybe have her go around and campaigning to be like part of like some kind of like environmental part of the government. Like that she's working with Jerry more so.
Yeah.
Like that because there is that moment where after the fire sequence, that Jerry says, like, he comes and they go to clean it up, and it's like, listen, you know, I'm here, you're here, let's work something out, let's figure it out, like, how can we both get what we want here? And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe that's what maybe would do. Like, would she go into like the parks department or something like that, like in Parks and Recreation? Like, she would work with the government to preserve areas of natural beauty or something like that.
Yeah, or just to help relocate them for the betterment, like, to work together.
Yeah,
it was a nice ending between the two. I really liked them. Like, if I like when I say I like the ending, I'm also liking it with the thought at the back of my head, where could a sequel go? And I'm not saying I want one.
No,
I am saying I like the ending so much, with her finding her life to live, with getting a job, because again, she's no parents present. She's finished college, so she needs to live her life. So she's got her crew of the scientists, and she goes back to the Glade and she sees George, and there's still that consequence of not getting to communicate with him like she did when she met him.
Yeah.
So there is that barrier there, but there is still that moment there where she still sees him. And Jerry, like, these are characters I'd want to see return in a sequel.
Yeah.
You couldn't. I would not like to see a sequel.
Just Mabel. Yeah.
Just Mabel. Like, George would have to be there, and I like that Bobby Moynihan has a role now that he can call this, where he could be second billing now.
Yeah.
In a movie, which is so nice to see. And it's kind of like you have a bit of a team there. You have the human, you have the animal, and you have the in between of it.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah. It's one that, you know, it's like you said, I'm not clamoring for a sequel. I'm okay, when is the next one? But you know, if it was to come and go, yeah, I'm sure there's something there for it.
Yeah. Like, they do have a good fair share of original movies now. They really do.
Oh yeah, like, if we look at the last couple, right, from Toy Story 4 onwards, right?
Yeah.
We have Onwards, Soul, Luca. So 3 originals in a row. Then we have Lightyear, which is... It's kind of like a spin-off to Toy Story, because it's not Toy Story. It's just the character.
It's a known IP.
Yeah.
That could have done its own little franchise had it been successful.
Turning Red, Elemental,
Yeah.
Inside Out 2. So there's 2 more originals and then a sequel. Then you've got Elio, Hoppers, and now Toy Story 5. So, like, they've done a lot more originals than sequels.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't blame them for now. I suppose they're entering into a sequel era. Like, there was a time back, you know, even before, like with Toy Story 4, you had Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, Cars 3, Coco, Finding Dory. You know, so, like, of those 5, 1 is an original, and we're getting now a sequel to that, Coco. So, you know, I think they are entering probably into a sequel era, but what I hope they don't do is they fall into a sequel era. I think that what we need is a good mix of originals and sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, a sequel to Coco I don't need, but
No.
Monsters Inc. I'd take any day. But honestly, you ask me what Pixar movies I'm looking forward to right now. It's the Incredibles 3. It's a Monsters Inc. 3. I don't know what you call it. A new Monsters Inc. film, and the Uno Ghost Market, if I'm remembering the title correctly. And that's that's it.
We'll take it as it comes.
Yeah, I was very optimistic with both Lightyear and then again with Elio, because I do like a good space adventure.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of they dropped the cake on those ones, I think, which is a shame. So, even though if you don't like something, if you don't like the look of something that's coming, even though it's Pixar, still give it a chance.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson for today.
That's the lesson for today.
Tis.
If you're given the lesson, can you give a recommendation as well?
Can I give a recommendation? What can I recommend? What am I watching? I am going to recommend. I'm going to recommend. You recommend something while I look something up.
I'll recommend two things. I will recommend, firstly, a documentary series called Inside Pixar.
I might have heard that.
Yeah, it's a Disney Plus series, and it kind of shows, I think it may be 4 to 6 episodes, and each episode follows a different person that works at Pixar in some different capacity.
Okay.
I thought it was a really good insight into the whole Pixar as a studio. And then I will recommend Win or Lose, which I think I may have recommended before as well, but it is the Pixar series on Disney Plus, and what it is it's about a children's softball team as they like prepare for the championship game. And each episode is from a different character's perspective. I think there's 10 episodes. Each episode is from a different character's perspective. And with each episode, we learn an extra piece of the story. You know, like we learn more and more of the story as a whole.
Something we've seen before.
Yeah, but it's done in the Pixar world, Pixar style. I thought it was quite good. I enjoyed that a lot, actually.
Okay, nice. I'm going to recommend The Owl House.
The Owl House?
Yeah.
What's that now?
That's a 2D Disney animation series that got 2 seasons and then a 3-episode third season cancelled because Disney doesn't like LGBT themes in their stuff, even though it's not as prominent as others. But it's about a girl who wanders through a door and is transported to a realm full of mystical monsters and other worldly beings.
Never heard of this.
And she takes up accommodation with the owl lady, who has her little pet King, who's probably like the baby Yoda of it all, and then she's an owl in the door that talks, and so it's a good owl. It's a good time.
It's a good owl time.
It's a good. Very funny.
Brian, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Talking Pictures Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed to us on your favourite podcasting app of choice. You can also follow us on all of our social medias. They're down in the links below. We also have another podcast, which is Saturday Morning Cartoon Club. So if you haven't already, make sure to check out that podcast. It's also in the description down below. So you have no excuse to not be subscribed to that. We just did our episode on Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, and then we also have our upcoming episode at the end of this month, which will be Ed, and Eddie. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to us here. Make sure you're subscribed to us there. This podcast is brought to you by Another Happy Studios, so make sure to check out all of the other podcasts on our network. You can listen to Another Happy Pod. You can listen to Still Got Legs, which is a Doctor Who rewatch podcast. You can listen to the archive of Another Happy Pod. You can listen to the Fishing Trip Files, which finished up recently. You can listen to Unfinished Film Thoughts. There's so many podcasts that you can listen to. You have no excuse not to be listening to all of them, except for the fact that, oh my god, there's so many, I can't listen to them all. You can also find us on YouTube. I'm sure if you haven't already, it's all in the descriptions below. I'm just rambling now at this point.
Did you get it all right, David?
I think so. I think I got everything.
Did you miss anything?
The only thing for me to say is thanks for listening. And Brian, any final words?
Catherine Hahn's playing Mother Gothel in the upcoming live-action time.
Is that confirmed?
It's confirmed now. She confirms it today.
Sick.
Sick. Indeed.
Sick.
Sick. I'm not sick.